So Chris Hall is with me this morning, our national affairs editor. He's in Ottawa, and it's always great to see you today and tomorrow on Inauguration Day, Chris. I'm looking forward to the conversations. But here we are. We don't even have the Biden administration, Joe Biden, sworn in, and we already know what he's planning to do tomorrow, rescinding this permit on day one. What does this tell us about relations right off the hopper?
Well, it certainly suggests, Heather, that the relationship, while it may be better than it was over the past 4 years with Donald Trump, will not be without its difficulties. Clearly no surprise that Joe Biden opposes the Keystone XL pipeline. He was part of Barack Obama's administration that said no at the time. And John Kerry, his new climate change czar, was Secretary of State back then, also recommended against the project, saying it would create far fewer jobs and advertise and wasn't necessarily in the economic or security interest of the United States to approve the pipeline. So it will be an irritant, obviously, as the first days unfold of the Biden administration that Justin Trudeau would have preferred to avoid, would have preferred to have been able to make the case for the pipeline. The new environmental emission standards that the oil sands as a whole are now meeting compared to 4 years ago. None of that will happen now. And I would add that, yes, Keystone XL is the key one we're focusing on, but there are issues around softwood lumber, about Joe Biden's proposals for Buy American and procurement policy, all of which spell potential rough spots for the Canada-U.S. relations, even with Joe Biden as the president.
Okay. Those are things I really do want to explore with you tomorrow, I think, because I still have more questions about Keystone. And you mentioned John Kerry. So why don't we talk to him, the special envoy? CBC News reporting that it is expected he will reach out to a number of world leaders, including Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, to talk about climate change and I guess the administration's climate change policy. Any further detail you can bring us, Chris, on that and, you know, how this might work with John Kerry, his role, the relationship expected with Canada with him?
Yeah, it's obviously different than it might have been in the past in the sense that, yes, incoming presidents do make calls to allies and leaders of friendly nations. And of course, Justin Trudeau would be one of the first to receive that call. There has been no real contact yet between the administration, the incoming administration, and Justin Trudeau's government, mindful of some of the concerns around Donald Trump when he was sworn in 4 years ago and the kinds of contact his incoming administration then had with foreign powers. So this will be a call to say hello, obviously a call to say we are committed to invigorating our climate change policy, re-engaging with Paris, looking for some support, maybe talk about his carbon border adjustment tax, which would put a tax on products brought in from countries that don't have the same kinds of environmental standards as the United States. Some people here, Enemy Paul of the Green Party in particular, is suggesting that Canada should be part of a North American carbon adjustment tax. So we'll see how those things unfold, but that is what the initial call will be. I'm anticipating we might get an invitation from the Prime Minister to have Joe Biden come to Canada as one of his first trips, if not his overall first trip, something that Donald Trump did not do, but Barack Obama did as among his first measures to go out and reach out to the world was to come to Canada for a first visit.
That's always something we watch, isn't it? In terms of further reaction to Keystone, though, certainly we saw Jason Kenney yesterday, Chris, come out very strongly saying that the United States owes Canada some respect to sit down and talk about this plan over Keystone and to press the points, give Canada an opportunity to press its argument. And from the Natural Resources Minister as well, saying that Canada is not giving up on all of this. Is there any room to negotiate, do you think, over this issue at this point?
No, I don't think so from what I've been canvassing with people, and that's why I think Jason Kenney was talking about potential legal avenues like dispute resolution within the new NAFTA, those kinds of efforts. But look, Jason Kenney's government invested over $1 billion in this pipeline to make sure that it was built, has been pushing hard for as much of it to be built as possible before the incoming administration. So this is a big political issue for him. And you mentioned Natural Resources Minister Seamus O'Regan saying we're not giving up. Well, remember, this is a government federally, Justin Trudeau, who said the economy and the environment can go hand in hand. So while we're committed to reducing climate change emission or climate emission gases, this was a big project that Justin Trudeau said he wanted to go ahead because it's important, particularly in the prairie provinces where the Liberals don't have any seats. So expect a fairly vigorous defense from Justin Trudeau, Seamus O'Regan, and perhaps others about the value of this particular project, both to Canada-U.S. relations, but also the fact that they have really made changes to try to reduce the emission levels from the oil sands. It himself, and that this particular pipeline would be emissions neutral once it was built. That was a relatively new announcement, but it was very different, obviously, in the situation 4 years ago.
Chris, thank you for this morning, and I look forward to tomorrow as we look at the relationship more broadly and all of the issues which may be indeed, well, complementary or contentious. We'll talk about all of it tomorrow when we see you. Our national affairs editor, Chris Hall. He's in Ottawa.